Alright guys, what up? It's your boy VL. Today is November 17th, 18th. I don't know what the hell the date is, but I'm excited. I am on my way to my first ever public speaking event. It's not really an event. The clinic in Toronto called Bayview Shepard Massage Therapy has invited me to speak at their staff meeting. This is an opportunity that I've been working hard for, and I just feel honored, thankful, and excited to talk to an incredible group of people. So I'm gonna keep y'all posted. Let's get it. All right guys, so I'm on my way to the clinic. Am I nervous? Hell yeah, I'm freaking nervous. Damn, this is my first time doing this. But like I said, I am excited, and I'm just ready to just speak my mind. What my problems are with the health industry, rehabilitative treatment, and performance. So I'm just gonna speak my mind and let them know what's up. Alright, so how's everybody doing today? Alright, good to hear. My name is Vin Lee. I'm a certified strength and conditioning coach through the NSCA. I did my bachelor's degree in New York City, in Brooklyn, New York. And I did my degree in sports science down there. I was on a athletic scholarship for track and field, which I do continue to train in today. And I just want to thank you guys for having me here. I'm excited about this opportunity and to speak of the issues I feel like are going on in the health industry, in the rehabilitative setting, and also the high performance setting. So let's get into it. Basically, the biggest problem I see with a lot of practitioners is that they've done the schooling, they've done the certifications, but a lot of them actually haven't gone through what they're putting their clients through. And I firmly believe in becoming the client first so that you can kind of build that empathy towards what they're going through, and then you can help them better. You understand what I mean? Like, I've been to so many physiotherapy, chiropractic, massage sessions where I just felt like it was such a general approach that I didn't really get anything out of it. And it comes to the point where it's like, you start to wonder if these guys are just trying to get your insurance or whatever like that. And oftentimes, there are some clinics that are just out to do that. And
well, you haven't been here then.
No, of course not. I'm not saying that's you guys. I'm not saying that's you guys. But I do believe that there is a major difference in being present and being effective. In my work experience, I've came across a lot of practitioners who kind of just come into work, do the same thing with every client, or they're just kind of just floating around, not really being effective because they haven't really built their knowledge past what they've learned in school or in their certification courses. And I get a couple of emails and direct messages of people asking me, hey, what kind of books do I need to read to learn what you're kind of putting out on social media and teaching people? And my biggest answer to that, guys, is just doing it. You can learn only so much from a textbook. I believe at some point you have to put yourself in that situation. So, for example, myself, I train at a very high level. Last year, I was able to achieve the third farthest jump in Canada under all conditions in the triple jump. I also finished fourth at the national championships, Canadian national championships in track and field. In any case, with that being said, I have been in circumstances where I understand what the client that is coming in is going through at a high level. You might get somebody who's just there for general fitness or just general wellness, but you might also get, I don't know if you guys get any athletes coming in here or anything like that, or people who are really involved in activities and sports and whatnot. But like I said, this for me is not just, being involved in that is not just maximizing, again, my potential at my age for athletic ability, but it's also an educational experience for me. You understand what I mean? Going into my undergrad in university, I understood that taking sports science would just be a bonus to what I was doing athletically, where I would be learning not only in the classroom but outside of the classroom. So from a young age, I understood the importance of continually learning outside of what was the information that was being fed to me in the classroom. So I just feel like a lot of people lose sight of that after they're able to earn money and they're getting paid for the hour that they're doing. And I just honestly believe that at the end of the day, at its core, things come down to intent, right? If your intention and your heart is not in the right place, you're not going to want to learn the things that are necessary to become better, to help your clients better. Because at the end of the day, I think the commonality between all of us, and I would hope the commonality is that we all want to make a difference, we all want to make an impact, and we all want to, touch people's lives in a positive way. You know what I mean? Like, let's say if, one of you guys just happened to move to another clinic the next week, you want to start to think about what would the patients that I was seeing here say about me. You understand? And if you start to think about that, it kind of motivates you to do your work to a very high degree and hold yourself to a very high standard. And if you do that and have that intention, then I believe that the books you need to read, the things you need to do will just follow. You understand what I mean? I also think that in this day and age, a lot of practitioners lose sight of the importance of marketing yourself online. Websites are great, but personal branding is extremely important. One of the things that I've done, and I'm recovering from right now, I had started putting myself out on social media using the Instagram platform back in March, and in 6 months I was able to get a video that received over 1 million views based on I was teaching people how to sprint properly, and it got shared by a bigger account which had about 460,000 followers by a good friend of mine named Vinny Rehab. Maybe you guys have seen his work or something like that. So the reason why I mentioned that is because I want you guys to understand the impact, the power of social media. Like literally with a couple of touches on your screen, and of course a lot of effort and thinking it through, you can touch a lot of people around the world. It's crazy. Like I would look at the video and I'd see comments of people commenting in Chinese, Spanish, German. I'm just like, damn, like this is crazy. Like I would never thought that was possible. So one thing that I've also learned from that is that once you start to put yourself out there into the world and letting people know what you do, it kind of holds you accountable as a practitioner, because then you have to review what you've learned. You have to learn more of what you already know, because now you're putting it out there. Like it has to be good. You can't just like be comfortable in whatever you know already and just be like, I'm just gonna put that out, or I'm just gonna, I've been doing this for a while, so I'm just gonna do the same thing. What it does, it forces you to review. It forces you to build upon the knowledge that you already have. And again, I just don't feel like, I think people are so stuck in their comfort zone of being comfortable earning the amount of money that they're earning and the hourly rate that they're earning, whatever they're doing, that they don't feel the need anymore after, we all have to make a living, of course, but they don't feel the need anymore to expand on top of that. And, I just feel like if you are very passionate about what you do, if you feel like you have a great understanding about what you do and you take pride in your work, why wouldn't you want to build a personal brand and maybe expand your clientele? Because I just feel like in a lot of work settings, people are just, they want to build their stable clientele, and after that's done, that's done. You understand what I mean? But there's so many people out there. Just think about it this way. If you're not sharing your passion, if you're not sharing what you know, it's almost a disservice to the rest of the world. You're selling the world short of what you can actually provide them, even just through a video or a photo. I truly believe in this saying that we are what we do repeatedly, and excellence is therefore not an act, but a habit. So that, and that could go the other way around too. If you're just comfortable doing the same thing that you're doing day in and day out, then you're just going to be good at what you've been doing day in and day out, and you're not going to get any better at that. People are more likely to engage and be in communication with a person, a personality, rather than a brand or a company. And it's very important to understand the way these people think, because you never want to come off like you just want them to come in because you're selling something. You understand what I mean? You want to build that personal connection with them, because that's going to, one, as you guys probably know, build trust, and two, allow you to, again, connect with that person on a level that's going to just allow them to feel comfortable with the treatment that you're giving them. Another thing I want to talk about is the big problem in the fitness industry about it being about egos and thinking about muscles individually and movement in an isolated way rather than thinking about the body as connected as a whole. I'm sure you guys understand that as massage therapists, and you guys are treating, people's musculoskeletal system. You understand that if I have a problem with my quad or my hamstring, I don't just need to treat the area, locally, right? It could be coming from somewhere else. Right? So, for example, sciatica, that the sciatic nerve is coming from the lumbar spine. Maybe it's an adjustment in there or tightness in the area that needs to be addressed instead of me just going to where the symptoms are on the hamstring. You guys already kind of understand that to a degree, that the body is fully connected. And my vision with building my business is to build an approach that's holistic in a way that we are tackling the psychology behind the recovery process. People are so, in this world, I feel like people are so caught up with looking the part, especially when it comes to fitness. Everybody wants to look buff. Everyone wants a big chest, we want big biceps. Guys, I'm sure you can understand that. If you go to the gym, you'll probably see a lot of guys just isolating muscles. But the thing is, our body is actually not meant to move like that. And I believe, at its core, that's where a lot of these physical ailments and issues are coming from, is because we've lost sight of moving our body as a unit and as a whole, and we've focused so much on building muscles for what? You understand what I mean? In regards to bodybuilding, it's no disrespect. I mean, if it teaches you to work hard, that's great. But if you look at any of the best movers in the world, and the reason why I mention this is because the reason why we have muscles to move. Muscles, they pull bones in a way that is going to propel you or do a certain activity. So it's important to understand that whether you're treating or you're doing a session for exercise, to understand the body on that degree. Because if you do, you won't have somebody sitting down at the gym doing leg extensions, right? Just to build quadriceps in a way that is, one, putting abnormal shearing force on your patellar tendon, and two, when in life do you ever go like this? And people would argue, yeah, you do that when you kick a soccer ball, right? But the thing about it is that when you kick a soccer ball, guess where the power is generated? It's from your hips. So if the ball's in front of me, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, you want to pass? I'm looking at something in the a space in the goal. I'm just gonna leg extension. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna plant my foot. I'm gonna swing my hip through. It's the same thing with throwing a ball. If you ever see somebody, just think about it yourself. If you want to throw a ball really far, right? Are you gonna grab the ball and do a tricep extension? No, you're not, right? I mean, at the end of the day, your body knows instinctively what it needs to do. Like you're gonna plant your foot, you're gonna wind it. Sorry, you're gonna stretch the tissues, right? Stretch shortening cycle. If you guys have looked into plyometrics, things like that. But basically, you're gonna stretch the tissues, you're gonna plant the foot, and then guess where the power is generated? From the hips. Again, right? So you have a lot of people who are training and they just want to get a six-pack, and maybe you guys have dealt with this issue before. A very tight rectus abdominis can lead to a lot of issues down the road. I believe that core strength is built from the inside out. A lot of people, again, they're so focused on getting the six-pack and the definition, but real gains in movement are from the inside out. That's why maybe when you see somebody who is an elite athlete, you might not expect that they're able to move to the degree that they do because their level of movement is not visible. Just because somebody has a big bicep doesn't. Have you ever seen an NBA basketball player that can shoot three-pointers and dunk really hard with like massive biceps up to here? Probably not. So the reason why is because these guys train their body as a whole, and I do believe that if as practitioners we can kind of grasp that idea, we could treat our patients better and make a bigger impact that way. Another thing that I feel like is a big issue is being disconnected from the ground. As you guys know, a lot of physical problems come from posture. And let me ask you guys, where do you think posture starts from? What was that? The feet, exactly. And I'm guilty of this because it's cold in Canada. We gotta wear shoes, right? But I feel like for the most part, we've lost sight of doing things barefoot. And our feet are meant to sense movement. If we are not using that, then guess what's gonna happen? Everything up the chain is just gonna be negatively affected. And so, in regards to movement, I feel like people aren't thinking, because they're not thinking about the body as a whole, they're not training in the right way that's going to build functionality, having them pain-free down the road, because essentially that's what you want to do, right? Again, people get caught up with looking the part instead of being the part. And I don't believe it's worth looking the part at the expense of having six-pack surgeries or, you know, resorting to crazy things that don't really fix the problem but rather mask the problem. What differentiates me, I think that's a better word, in terms of, you know, strength and conditioning coaches, personal trainers in the industry, is that I've done it and I'm continually doing it. You know, I know that after my athletic career is done and my business is settled, I'm going to still be working out because I need to put myself continually through what the client is going through. All right, so I'm back. I think I did a decent job first time speaking in front of a crowd. I guess you could call it a crowd, I don't know, but it was more than I expected. I thought it was just going to be like a staff of like maybe 8 people. There was about 15 people there, so I'm just grateful for the opportunity to learn and to practice, because my plan down the road, I have this goal of speaking in front of possibly millions of people, at least thousands of people, and trying to make an impact and just bring up the next generation and just people around me. I'm going through this so that I can learn everything that I possibly can, so that I can share my story down the road and I can look back at this journey as I've documented it, and I am documenting it as I'm going through it. So again, if you watch this, thank you. Bayview Shepard RMT, thank you. If you guys are in Toronto, check them out. If you need a massage, these guys do great work, and you know, they are definitely leading the industry in the work that they're doing. So thanks again. Spread peace, love, and positivity always. VL out.